between air quality, our population growth, the respiratory health within our county here, especially in this area, being the location there on the eastern side of the Appalachian Mountains. We also know that we have a severe problem with a lot of our kids in school with the same thing. We've had many incidences of that, as well as a lot of the construction that's going on. Our current research, what we're doing, or at least I should say what our students are actually doing, we've actually constructed the weather stations. Our students are collecting data daily, as well as doing some research, looking up historical population, data on asthma, as well as, and they're actually using different county resources.
These are my students getting ready for our GIS day. You can see we've got our, just our little weather station, doing these protocols and asking these relevant questions every day and collecting data.
And these are my students over here. What you see in the left-hand picture there is part of their actual ozone garden that's been ongoing now for a couple years. They're doing some maintenance on there. They're also, this is where they were actually installing parts of the weather station, in this particular case here for ozone.
Well, one of the cool things that we got involved with this fall is Arcgis, and a local university geologist worked with the kids to apply this mapping software and to analyze our data to help us decide whether or not we have any correlations with our question. And here's my kids doing it, and these three particularly really liked doing this data and applying it to the software. Is everybody familiar with what Arcgis is? If you are, I'm hearing some yeses. I'm seeing some yes. No. Well, what it really is, let's click on Mike and I'll show you. What it is that you take your data. Well, here's our kids presenting, and I'll talk about that in a second. But what it is that you have, here's a map of one of the typical things it is. You have an area, okay, and then you can collect data, put it in a spreadsheet, and the software will place it and layer it up. So here we layered population data, and where our state, you see where the green see where the green stars are. Those are places in our county that also take ozone data by the county. I don't know which county organization does it, and it's also related to, we put in our interstate highways to see if there is any correlation, if these things overlap. This software will do that. So go back and I'll show you. So on November 14th was our local expo downtown Charlotte, and our kids got together. This is the way our kids could collaborate between the two schools, as we got together and presented what we've done so far using ArcGIS in our globe research, and it was a thrill for the kids. And there was a total of like 15 children, and in our group, but we were one of 4 student presentations that day. So we were right between a meteorologist and a high school team. So here's kind of what it looks like. This is really the cool one. Now we know that we don't have enough data yet because we know ozone may not actually be the issue anymore. But here we have the 3 sites that the county does it. And then also in green there, in the different shades of blue-green, is where the incidences of asthma. And we got that from the Public Health Department, which is also something that's on public information that my kids could access. And here they are. And it went so smooth. The meteorologists that were also presented thought this was pretty cool. Do you have the actual? Okay, yeah, our local little globe facilitator, Alyssa Whitcliffe, kind of made a connection with UNCC Geology Department to get us the software, and we got it put in on our school computers, and there actually were CDs, and they had to be installed in each computer, and and that's, and I'm not really sure how Alyssa got that, or is it UNCC that provided that?
What it is, for the last 2 years, not this current year, but the 2 years prior to that, I actually have had the software and been using it with my kids also. It is
Yes,
ESRI.
oh, that'd be great. That's
ArcGIS.
great.
That's what it is. And it was actually given by UNCC here for us. Yes, there is a charge for using this particular software. I want to say, well, I don't want to give a dollar amount on that.
But
it's
we
pretty
got to use it for
expensive,
free.
though.
I mean, because of our connection with Globe, they're happy, and plus, a UNCC STEM person, you know, their people paid for the geologists to come in and work with the kids. Oh, really? That's cool. That's great, because it's a wonderful program. It really sets up the higher order thinking. I mean, it's the data collection and mapping in a very sophisticated 21st century skill way. So it was great.
Now, I do know there are several different versions of ArcGIS. I know the one that we are using is a lot more comprehensive than a lot of times the free issues. They're the free ones that are out there.
That'd be great. That would be great, because I think that once they're on, I don't know if they expire. I don't know if we'll be able to use the same software or what for next year. It just turned black, I mean, every day. And then pretty soon, what happened? The ozone season ended.
Right, right. The other problem that we're having issues with is when we're collecting our data around solar noon. And it has to deal with scheduling what kids, when we can do that, because a lot of our kids that are in our Globe clubs, I know both of us have our own clubs and everything, they're not necessarily with us around solar noon. And to get them out of class, especially core classes and stuff, poses a problem. Again, ozone season, it's from, it ends in November, begins again in April. It's a short time frame. That's why, because with that, that's why we're really kind of limited, trying to cram the stuff in, and that's why we're trying to get what we can. We're looking at adjusting our research a little bit, going more towards the particulates than the ozone itself, because of what we're finding and what we're hearing and such like that.
I have to tell you, when I came to school this fall, I had such horrible asthma. And this is what kind of helped me guide into this. And it was because of all the particulate matter, aerosols, because of the construction by our school and by my home. Because Mecklenburg County here is just exploding with progress and cutting down trees and digging up the dirt to put in new roads. So that, you know, so now we're realizing it wasn't the ozone that was making me so sick. It was probably all that, the dust and the dirt and the grime.
And the final thing is, and again, this is more on our end over here is maintenance of our ozone gardens, our summer gardens throughout the entire school year. That's what we're just trying to work on. Part of it can be done or handled on how we maintain it, or how we actually install it, the amount of mulch and so forth like that in there to reduce some of the needs for watering, but still there has to be some maintenance being done on that, and we're just trying to get volunteers to come in and do that.
So this spring I am working with my school. In fact, we've made it part of our school improvement plan to put in a garden here. So our little ozone garden idea has now bloomed into an outdoor classroom, and all centered around these two posts that are out there outside my back door, and they have our weather station. So we're going to get that installed this spring. And we're an IB school, International Baccalaureate School, and community service is a big component. So we're now going to make this garden maintenance in the summer. We're going to meet that challenge, we think, by making it on-site community service, but we think that's a good way. Now, this incorporating this cloud cover particulate, we decided that we want to figure out if that has anything to do with what's going on in the atmosphere. So there's a program with CloudSat that we decided we want to incorporate that, where they give you this great, I think it's like $45 a piece though, but we happen to be given one where it's a mirror that you lay down. It's a convex mirror.
Yes.
Convex mirror. Convex mirror, and you allow you to see the entire sky, and you can kind of estimate your sky, your cover. So we're going to do that. In other words, one more thing, kids do some data, see if that makes any difference, and then of course, adding particulate aerosol data, expanding these weather stations. I think he's waiting as well. We're waiting for more equipment. The kids really love this so much, so we're going to add an anemometer, and I like to even do a windsock, whatever we can do to get more kids involved, and of course, it makes it look more snazzy for the school. And
in addition, I just want to add this with the expansion and everything. My particular school is a K-8 school. It's a STEM school, and we actually have, for the elementary component on that, with the elementary component, we actually have an elective for all the students to go through there, and they do this. And with that in mind, we're looking at having these students actually look at this stuff professionally and trying to come up with some sort of relationships in there with their discoveries.
So it looks like you guys are interested in a convex. That I mean, honestly, it just was kind of brought to our attention that, hey, why not do it? And they, again, our UNCC, connection basically said, here, try this convex mirror, and it's a durable plastic that's got, a shiny cover. I believe Watchery said that she's done some of this, so maybe we can get more about, as we find out more about it, we can get more people involved. We figure the more data they can collect, the more authentic research they do, and the more they are engaged, the more they buy into it, and the more they want to study the weather and atmosphere.
And the other thing with the with CloudSat and everything, we would actually be doing at both of our schools on a given day and such like that, doing the ground truthing for NASA, because this data would be sent to NASA.
That's right. I knew there was something
because of the satellite that's up there can no longer function at 100%.
So of course, the last couple of things is time, and teachers, how hard it is to find time. My kids are not my kids during the time I have to collect data. So I have to go and always make deals like, I'll watch your kids if you watch mine. But now I have a core group of 6 of my 15 who go unsupervised. They automatically go, they unlock the weather thing, they take their data and bring it back to my classroom. It has taught them so much responsibility. The other thing is funding. I am still waiting for our district to give me a little bit more money to expand all this. So we're starting to look into more grant writing and timeliness in getting the garden done. And we've decided that it's kind of tough being at 2 schools to collaborate, but we know we need to do that. We know we need to either just Skype with each other more, we need to do this more, get the kids talking to each other about their data.
Questions?
We're looking at your questions. Indoor versus, I like this idea.
Which one?
Looking at indoor versus outdoor particulates, hanging packing tape on the room.
We've done that.
Yeah.
We've done that at our schools
Yeah.
a lot. In fact, we've actually hung them a little bit at particular areas outside. It's real interesting with the carpool lane and everything. See how much junk particulates that are out there that you're breathing every day.
Yeah. And it's something that's cheap. You can do it. And since I have asthma, but it's so hot in my room in the fall, I have to keep my windows open. So it's kind of like, is it really outdoor particulates or is it other stuff blowing in? Yeah. We think, to be honest, I really think my asthma and the whole reason why I wanted to study this is due to the aerosols, all that stuff that's in the air that's irritating. But we do know that ozone plays a part because it's like burning your lungs. So that's really all we have. So there's they've just set up the Arcgis thing.
Yeah,
so if you don't have any more questions, we're here, we're listening to the next one. Let us know. We would love to know what you guys are doing at your latitude. One of the things in my garden we're going to be putting in is other plants at the same latitude around the country and around the world. So if there's anything you'd like me to put into this garden here or at Mike's, because we're only 5 miles away, we'd love to add it so you can get data from us at our latitude. And thank you. Have a good night.
Same.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. We're trying to do this from the classroom, so bear with us. Basically, we're a little bit slow getting started. Of course, we're in Central Middle School in Gatesville, North Carolina, which is in the northeastern corner of North Carolina at the Virginia border and right on the coast. When we got back